Welcome back to CHRYSALIS, the Family Adventures, our weekly podcast on the Stivic family and the trials and tribulations they face in 2020's America. I feel so bad that you're all missing out on one of the greatest experiences of life to take part in reading a script for a podcast. If you are an aspiring actor or broadcaster, here's a golden opportunity sitting right at your door. I would really like to make this show come alive, so don't be shy. Give me a buzz right now, and let's get the rock rolling. Today we come to the second part of the trial hearing theme. Mark, you better get better glasses because I'm saying things that are not on the page. Today, continuing with the trial hearing theme from the last episode, we come to episode 55, The Things We Carry and the Beast from the Depths. In this intense, emotionally charged episode, the family members grapple with social and personal turmoil in parallel amid a tense courtroom drama and life-awakening home reflection between Mike and Josh. Episode 55 opens with a recap of the morning's breakfast, when Mike tries to guide Josh through the turbulent terrain of young love by encouraging Josh to join a political campaign as a way to meet women. But Joey says no way, and Josh invokes his own desire for privacy and autonomy in his forming relationships. In the tense courtroom drama that follows, Kamala and Samantha face a harrowing legal battle between their traumatic encounter with a police officer during a Black Lives Matter protest. Kamala's brave testimony about her and Samantha's traumatic encounter with Officer Bradock at the protest 4 years earlier establishes the stark picture of the scene, but her commenting is seen by both Stern and Carmichael as unwarranted and too opinionated to be of relevance to her case. She nonetheless persists in challenging the system's double standards and exposing the deep-rooted racial injustices and characteristic systemic abuse they become the victims of. However, Judge Carmichael insists on sticking to facts and protocol, and while often putting the brakes on Kamala, she does charge Officer Bradock with forcing minor girls to submit to a strip search. Kamala's account challenges not only the officer's abuse of power, but also the court's and society's capacity to reckon with systemic racism and the trauma it inflicts. After her graphic description of the abuse, that is Kamala's, Carmichael orders a brief recess. Meanwhile, back at home, Josh and Grandpa Mike navigate the complexities of youthful romance, discussing relationships, regret, and personal growth. Josh struggles with balancing his obsession with his computer with his feelings for Amanda over the incident the previous night. Mike shares wisdom from his past mistakes, urging Josh to show Amanda genuine care and emphasizing the importance of not neglecting loved ones and that relationships mean making sacrifices. What begins as a lesson in romance becomes a confession of regret as Mike opens up about leaving his family decades earlier to join a commune in pursuit of an idealistic dream. Mike expresses his regrets about leaving his wife and son, realizing the pain he caused and urging Josh not to take Amanda's presence for granted. The episode ends with Josh reflecting on his priorities and the importance of making loved ones feel valued. The wisdom he imparts to Josh, that the deepest wounds are often those we inflict by failing to show up for the people who need us most. Love, he tells Josh, requires presence, attention, and humility, a truth that lands harder on himself than either expects, but the imparting of which reveals Mike as a man who has deeply learned his lesson and is turning the pain into a heartfelt gift to his grandson at a stage in his life when it could really make a big difference. Imagine, well, you probably were born too late to know anything about what communes were, but for those of you who can remember, and I know I'm talking off script here, can you imagine like somebody who would leave his wife and kid to join a commune? To be fair, he wanted them, well, it's going to come out in the script anyway, so I'll shut up. Overall, the episode blends and weaves together family tensions, romance, trauma, and social justice, hard-hitting social commentary, culminating in lessons about empathy, respect, with poignant family dynamics, and the lasting impact of choices, staying true to the show's blend of drama and coming-of-age storytelling. And now, without further ado, let's hear Episode 55, CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures, The Things We Carry, and The Beast from the Depths. Fade in. Voiceover. Previously on CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures. Internal, the house, living room, dining area, day. The family, minus Samantha, is sitting around the table. Mike, to Josh. Join a campaign. You know you meet a lot of attractive women your age at these events. Some of them still can't vote, so this is how they make their voices heard. Cut to Joey. Oh, definitely not. You think I didn't see that ploy to get him roped into the Biden campaign by luring him with women? Josh, well, that wouldn't work anyway. If I'm going to have a social life with women, how about a little privacy? You think I want my grandfather hovering around while I'm trying to make some headway with a gorgeous, politically active young woman? Cut to internal, the house. Josh's room, day. Mike and Josh are at Mike's laptop. A wire is connected to Josh's iPad. Josh, what do you mean telling me about all those girls at the campaign rallies? You know I already got a girlfriend. Cut to, why would I trade a girl in my bed for someone I'd never really get a chance to hang with? Cut to Mike, pessimistic look. Well, I hope it works out for you. Seems to me like more of a long shot. Cut to internal. Courtroom 802, day. Bailiff. Court 802 is now in session. The People versus L.A. Police Officer Justin Bradock. Cut to Watkins. Ms. Jackson. Cut to. Tell me what actually happened in the room after you found yourselves alone with Officer Bradock. Kamala. We were frightened out of our wits finding ourselves alone with this man. Cut to. It was right after Samantha darted ahead of the crowd toward the officers and yelled really loud at them. Cut to, I reached forward and grabbed her to pull her back, but Officer Bradock was alarmed by her yelling, and when he turned to see what was happening, he saw me pulling her back and assumed I was the aggressor here because she is smaller than me. And, yes, white. Watkins, did he state that to you? Kamala, no. Cut to, he said, hey, what do you think you're doing? And slapped the cuffs on me. Cut to, I was trying to be cool and just protect Samantha at that moment. Afterward, I guess I kind of withdrew because my worst fear was coming true. And Samantha, of course, got Watkins. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Do you mean your fear of being arrested? Kamala, no, my fear that the same thing would befall me that happens to so many other black people, especially youth, that I would be killed by one. Cut to, I kept telling Samantha to just go along and cooperate. Cut to, but you see what happened. It didn't matter. Watkins, Miss Jackson, did Officer Bradock tell you why he was taking you alone into a private room? Kamala, no, because it would have outed his racism. Cut to Stern, objection. This is way into the zone of conjecture and opinion. Kamala, no it isn't. I know the double standard racists have, which they'll never spell out. Carmichael bangs her gavel and stops the talk. Carmichael, with slight anger, please, this is a court of law. If you cannot contain yourselves, then I will dismiss the case out of hand. Young lady, I've brought this to your attention already a few times. Cut to, the legal system that exists to protect you also demands that you follow a certain protocol by offering only what you know as fact. Kamala, interrupting. Well, racism is a fact, which I know you know. Carmichael, banging gavel hard. Excuse me, please don't interrupt. If you want to get anywhere with your crusade for racial justice, as well as with this case you brought, you need to be quiet and understand the rules of the court. Cut to, all that's relevant is facts and actions. Cut to Watkins. If you don't mind, Miss Jackson, let's hear your account of what exactly happened from the moment you were taken into the room by Officer Bradock to the moment you were let go. Kamala. Well, this is when they had patted us down. Then he told his partner to take our belongings, and he just grabbed us both. Caption. And now, continuing on in and out of the cocoon, theme music / display. Internal courthouse, courtroom 802, a bit later. Watkins. Actually, it wasn't a bit later. It was following right on the heels. Watkins, what do you mean by grabbed? Kamala. He didn't state, come with me. He just pulled on our arms and led us, unable to resist, into the room. Watkins. And then? Kamala. Samantha tried to pull herself loose, but then, when she saw there was nothing she could do, she stopped resisting and just asked what he was going to do. I kept telling her to just cooperate and go along with him, hoping we could get through with this and be released when he found nothing illegal on us. But when I said that to her, he said he'd seen I'd been here before, which felt very effrontery and demeaning. I said no, I was never here before, but he kept insisting he had seen me. Then he got, and Samantha was panicking and asking him where he was taking us and what he was going to do, so he got kind of tough at that point. Watkins. What did he do that was tough? Kamala. He said in a very martial voice to stand against the wall and say nothing. That's when he ordered us to strip, to pull our pants down. This was very frightening because we knew he was violating the law. So I said, bravely, that he couldn't do that without a female officer present. That's when he informed us that he had to search for drugs and other contraband. And when we stood there frozen and in shock, he yelled at us some more. Watkins. What did he yell at you? Kamala. He said, come on, ladies, I don't have all day. I got 1,000 other people to arrest and book. Watkins. That's exactly what he said? Kamala. Well, maybe not those exact words, but that was the general gist of it. I wish my partner hadn't taken so long to recover so this assault would be fresher in my memory, but that itself is clear evidence of the severity of the injury. I do remember him saying he had 1,000 other people to book. What shocks me, but doesn't surprise me, is seeing him sitting here in this court today after his criminal behavior, wearing a police uniform like nothing happened. Watkins. Did he actually state beforehand what he was planning to do when he got you naked? Kamala. No, he just went ahead and did it. He pulled our pants down, both of us. In fact, he started with Samantha because he knew she was more vulnerable and probably gave him more of a thrill to see her bottomless than me. Carmichael bangs gavel, Stern also starting to rise but stops. Miss Jackson. Kamala. Sorry. He then did the same thing to me. We both cried out for help. Maybe God must have heard us, because it was right at the moment when he was shoving the stick into our rectums with hard and fast, back and forth movements that the superior officer came in and told him he was violating protocol. Watkins, pointing to the superior officer. Sergeant Riley. Did you encounter Officer Bradock any time after that? Kamala. No, not until today. Watkins. Okay, thank you, Miss Jackson. But let's get to the moment he asked you to undress. Did he do anything else first before making you undress? Kamala. No, not really, except he was talking in a demeaning way to us, as I said, and also getting very defensive. Watkins. What specifically did he say that felt demeaning? Kamala. Well, for one, his remark that he'd seen me before. Notice he only said that to me, the black one. Watkins. Okay, go on, Miss Jackson. Kamala. I said, no, I've never been here before. But he kept insisting he remembered seeing me. That was very demeaning. I mean, what would a high school girl from Santa Ana with good grades be doing getting in trouble in L.A.? This is what they do to demean us. Watkins. So the fact that you were there at a nationwide public protest didn't account for anything? Stern. Objection. This is speculative, even if the witness thinks so. Carmichael. Overruled. This is a necessary important factor in helping us understand the accused's thinking, even if it is speculative, because his behavior does establish a question in people's minds of why he made that remark and does shed light on his subsequent behavior. Luke, please be careful in your questioning not to feed your witness leading questions like that. Ms. Jackson, did the fact that this was at a Black Lives Matter protest make Officer Bradock's statement of having seen you previously cause you bewilderment as to what his motives were? Kamala. They certainly did, and when put together with the fact that he ordered us after that to strip, It is clear that he was put off at the sight of people exercising their right to oppose the very type of injustice that underlies why he brought us in, and then did what he did to us. Watkins, hold on a second. Did he reference a time or a place or an incident that he'd seen you being brought in? Kamala, no, sir. Watkins, did you or your girlfriend say anything else prior to his ordering you to strip other than yes or yes, sir? Kamala, no. The only thing Samantha said was, where are you taking us? Watkins, were you fully compliant and did everything he ordered? Kamala, in the room? Absolutely, with the exception of stripping. Oh, she also said, what are you planning to do with us? As I already said, I did my best to be compliant, while Samantha expressed her outrage, both in public and here alone with him. And because we knew we were alone with him, we were frightened out of our wits for our lives, so we dared not try anything to upset him, except when he humiliated us by ordering us to get naked, while alone with him, which even Samantha knew was a crime. Carmichael, banging down gavel forcefully. Making two minors undress is not proper procedure and is, in fact, a form of sexual coercion that is an illegal act, even if physical assault never occurred. Is it true, Officer Bradock, that you offered them to undress while you were alone with them? Bradock, caught by surprise, hesitates, then firmly. It is my understanding, Your Honor, that in extreme circumstances such as these were, we had to use our best judgment and do it quickly to protect the people of Los Angeles. With a large amount of people present, we had to act fast and with limited resources. Carmichael, and you thought these two children were such a threat that you had to humiliate them? Officer Bradock, I wasn't happy about this, but I'm sure you're aware that children are routinely used by drug smugglers to hide their contraband, and the younger one was being very belligerent, and I had to think quick and move fast. Carmichael, banging gavel twice, very loud. I've heard enough, officer. These children are not guilty of any crime enough to warrant their being forced to undress before a strange man. Did either of you ladies actually undress willingly? They both nod their heads, no. Kamala, he just turned us around to the wall and yanked our pants off and then raped us. Carmichael, bangs gavel again, quieter. The charge says he put a nightstick, one for each of you, into your anal cavity. Is that what you mean by rape? Kamala, yes, Your Honor. It is my understanding that any form of contact between an adult and a minor in which the minor's private parts are touched in any way is now considered as rape under the law. Carmichael, okay, thank you. I just needed clarity on what actually happened, so we're all together on this, since rape was defined differently under the law until recently. Now, officer, you admitted before to having asked the girls to strip, so you will be charged in violation of Penal Code 2644. I suggest you seek counsel before saying any more. Counsel. Watkins. Ms. Jackson, were you ever read your rights? Stern. Objection. Reading of the Miranda rights is not required unless the suspect is being questioned. There is no evidence that this occurred. Watkins. Question withdrawn. Ms. Jackson, did any officer question you at any time before they were released from the holding facility? Kamala, no. Officer Bradock just stripped us and raped us with a stick. 2 sticks, one in each of our rears. It was humiliating for me and completely traumatized Samantha, who developed PTSD as a result. Carmichael looks very concerned. Carmichael, addressing Samantha. Ms. Stivic? Samantha, looking relieved. Yes, Your Honor. Carmichael, do you still feel like you can testify? Samantha, yes. Carmichael, proceed then, counselor. Samantha, I'll be happy to testify that everything my valiant partner said is true. She left nothing out. Carmichael, okay, but that will be for the attorneys to decide if you need to be questioned further, if they believe you have information relevant to their case. All you have to do is answer the questions. You don't have to color it in as your partner did. I ask that we proceed without any interruptions or embellishments. Watkins, you stated you were humiliated by the sodomizing. Were you in any physical pain as a result of this? Kamala, of course. Samantha was screaming in agony. Watkins, that'll be all, Ms. Jackson. I'm sorry to have put you through this. Thank you for your testimony. Kamala, as she steps down, that's quite all right. You've done me and my partner an incredible service, for which I thank you. A heavy air of seriousness hangs over the courtroom. Stern, standing up. Your Honor, I move for a temporary recess. Carmichael, yes, we need a moment to collect our thoughts. A 5-minute recess is granted. Stern, 5 minutes? I was thinking at least a half hour. Carmichael, with all due respect, Counselor, I believe your case is fully prepared, is it not? Stern, yes it is, Your Honor. Carmichael, 5 minutes it is, starting now. Bangs down gavel. Internal, the house, Josh's room, day. Mike and Josh are still at their discussion. Josh, head down in sad resignation. This sucks. Suddenly reanimated. But wait a minute. I just thought of something even better. She's got to be on social media. Mike, oh no, I'm not doing that. Josh, no, Grandpa, it's perfect. She goes by Amanda the Goat. G-O-A-T. Mike, yeah, I know, greatest of all time. Josh, yeah, we can find her easily. Mike, Josh, I'm not doing social media to fix your mistakes. Josh, what if I sign in on my account? Mike, well, one, she's in school, so she shouldn't be checking her social media. Josh, yeah, right, like anybody follows that rule. Come on. Mike, why can't you wait till Samantha gets home? At this point, I think it's best if you wait a day anyway. She needs time to cool down. We should get on with the lesson anyway. Josh, oh, you mean this is not part of it? Mike, well, yes and no. It's more a life lesson, and it certainly won't be on the tests. But I'm not going to go on social media with you to teach you that lesson. But since you brought it up, I'd like to share something that'll help you get this more in perspective. Josh, is it going to be long? Mike, oh, now you're not interested. Josh, no, it's not that. I mean, you don't want to help me, so let's just get to the lesson and stop wasting time. Mike, wow, what a switch. I think what I have to share with you will help you with Amanda. One day when your dad was about 7, I left the family to go live on a commune. Josh, yeah, I remember Dad was really mad at you over that. Why'd you go there? Mike, it was complicated. I had my political views that I felt strongly about at the time. I really wanted to live in a better world, not the dog-eat-dog world and the hypocrisy I felt surrounded by and trapped in. Josh, so you just walked away from them? Mike, well, I figured I'd at least try it out and then they'd join me. But things didn't turn out that way. Your grandmother liked the idea in the abstract, but she didn't want Joey to be there at his young age. Everything there was pretty radical in how people did things, including their bodies and their very diverse types of relationships. Josh, lighting up with gleeful smile. Oh, that would be my dream. Mike, hey, what happened to Amanda? Josh, are you kidding? She'd love it. Mike, you're not concerned she might not like the idea of you getting involved with other women? Josh, Amanda? She's totally about fun. I mean, sometimes she jokes about it, but she doesn't get like upset. Mike, maybe she doesn't want to appear vulnerable to you, so she'll pretend it means nothing, but she'll be really upset if she senses she's losing you. Women will never be upfront about it, but they have a funny way of changing when they feel that, and that's how you know. Like if they say, do whatever you want, I don't care. What they really mean is, you're ignoring me and I'm tired of trying to get your attention. If you don't start paying attention to me now, I'm leaving you. Josh, that sounds like a lot for a simple phrase that means totally the opposite. I wish they'd just say what they mean. That'd make things a lot easier. Mike, that ain't gonna happen. You know how difficult, well, maybe you don't because it looks like she spoiled you royal. But one day you'll find out how difficult it is to ask someone to give you the love you need when you're not sure if they feel the same way. And then you'll be able to appreciate why Amanda said do whatever you want. Because what was really going on was she was there letting you know you could have her, and you're meanwhile pushing her away. It's like Samantha said. She came here to a stranger's house to get some love with someone who meant a lot to her, and you don't even acknowledge that and stop what you're doing, but go on like some kid playing with a toy. But even with sex, you still need to acknowledge and show respect for that person. Josh, well, she told me I don't own her. We're not in a real relationship, and she can come and go as she pleases. So maybe I'm really justified if I don't jump the minute she shows up. Mike, that's where you're wrong, although you may be right if she walks away and there's nothing you can do. But it sounds like she's really ambivalent about getting involved with anybody. And maybe this is just a friends with benefits type of thing. I think you or Samantha said she had been abused and lives in a dangerous house. Josh, that's right, she does. Mike, well, sometimes what someone like that really needs is someone to be there by their side. You're giving her something, and it seems she appreciates it, even if it's just a bed to sleep at night. But we'll have to see. I like that you have this not giving up attitude and are willing to go the extra mile for something that you really care about. I've seen you do that with Samantha. Josh, she probably does that more for me. Mike, well, that's good that you noticed that. And women love a man who treats someone like a sister with care and consideration. That tells them a lot about the kind of man he will be for her. But you gotta come clean with her. It sounds like she's very sure of herself. I mean, it's very important to her that people see her as someone really together who can hold her own. She knows what allowing herself to need you could lead to, and that feels too dangerous a chance for her to take right now. So you have to totally give her the space she needs. She's done a lot of growing up on her own because she had to, and it sounds like it. Let me repeat that. She's done a lot of growing up on her own because she had to, it sounds like. But my God, if she comes to you, don't tell her you're too busy for her. Run into her arms and give yourself up to her. Otherwise, you might as well not put you and your sister through this ordeal of keeping her hidden. Women don't like feeling left out or ignored. And if she thinks she'll always be like this, she's not going to come back. You're still in the first impressions stage. Josh, I don't feel like that. I feel like we're totally intertwined. Although it has been kind of strange because she had been here twice, but Mom went ballistic on her, and then it seemed like she'd never come back. You know how much trouble I got in trying to find her? Mike, yeah, who can forget? Josh, but then it didn't seem worth it anymore, and I saw Michael going off to Stanford, and then it hit me. Why was I sacrificing my real self, the genius, over a girl who's not even around? And then all of a sudden she just shows up out of the blue like, where did that come from? I mean, I love her coming around and, well, Josh gives a slight head shift off to the right. And widens his eyes, all in a tiny instant while Mike nods in acknowledgement. Mike, trade sex for your career. Well, at least the computer won't care if you interrupt the game, and it'll save it so you can come back later. Josh, I didn't want to stop because I was afraid I'd lose the momentum, but maybe you're right. It'll still give me the time to reorient myself so I can come back just as I left it. I know girls don't have that much patience, and she's my only option. That's pretty obvious. Mike, but it's not good enough. Josh, huh? Mike, if you're with her because she's your only option, then what guarantee does she have that your love is real? Josh, it's very real. Mike, is it stronger than your love for your computer? Josh, sure it is. Mike, well, you had a funny way of showing it. Josh, come on, Grandpa, this was my first time to get to play on the computer. You got to understand that. Mike, I'm not the one you got to convince. Obviously, Amanda got really pissed. You've got to find a way to apologize to her. Don't do what I did. Josh, I'm not leaving home and joining a commune. Mike, doesn't matter. She feels slighted. And if she doesn't come back, then you're going to be devastated. Josh, no, I won't. And she's going to come back anyway. Mike, you're that sure of yourself? Well, I guess maybe you got to really experience heartache firsthand to get a more realistic picture. You can't really be told. When I walked away from your grandmother, I didn't feel bad at the time. I really wanted to be part of creating a better society, one that wasn't trapped into all the materialism and consumerism. But that was it. I could never go back. I've never stopped regretting that decision ever since. Josh looks sort of downward, but stays silent. Mike, she was really hurt, and I regret it to this day. There are two ways you can feel if you're breaking up with somebody. Either regret for having caused it, or outright grief because your heart got broken. But I could have avoided that. Anyway, at this point I'm happy, she's happy, Josh, and Dad's happy. Mike, but it's not that simple. Even though I got over the hurt, I never got over the regret over my own callous attitude toward your grandmother and your father, even while we were still together. He really loved me back then and was counting on me. Josh, wow. That's really hard to imagine, Dad loving you. Mike, but I let him down. I thought I was above everybody because I was smarter and more successful. But that was just book smarts, not real smarts. I was neglecting my family and putting them through hell. That's why I let him go on when he goes off the way he does. I know what you have with Amanda is a lot more tentative, but I also know you feel strongly about her. I'd hate to see you lose that over a game of chess that you could have easily stopped and come back to. Josh, okay, let's assume all that, but I still have the right to my game, and I was trying to be loving when she just pushed me off the bed. Mike, that you can't take personally. You gotta give her something after ignoring her like that. Josh, but don't I have any rights? You saying I have to stop and jump anytime she shows up, no matter what I'm doing? I gotta wait forever, meanwhile, for her. Mike, well, how'd you leave it between you two before that night? Josh, well, when she left on the 24th, no, it was the 20. Mike, does it really matter? Josh, no, I guess not. But come on, I got that gift after she left. When she came back, I had no idea. Mike, you had no idea? I mean, it was Monday night. Josh, no, actually it was Tuesday night. Mike, and you had had this gift to play with since Sunday, right? Josh, yeah. So? Mike, don't you think? I mean, you gotta have remembered she was coming. Josh, I did, but I didn't think it was going to be such a big deal. Mike, Josh, if this girl means anything to you, you should make sure she knows how much she means to you. Fade out. I think that actually worked out as a good place to fade out. My biggest worry with my writing is that I'm trying to keep these things to a half-hour show, and unlike a lot of half-hour shows, the action, the story, it can't be contained in one episode. So it's a real serial. So, like, people who binge watch, it's no big deal because they go right from one episode to the next. But that was a good ending, I think. Sometimes it's nice to leave something. All right, guys, take it easy. It's been good. So let me see. Thank you so much to Mo. Thank you so much to Vilma Gonzalez 23. I was supposed to invite Sharninian. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that. I don't know why that one needed an invite and the others just joined, but thank you so much to Ahmad Nashawati. There's a lot I don't know about TikTok. And thank you so much to, oh my God, Wa'ayu'ukura'a. Wow, you love vowels, I can see. All right, take care, guys. It's been real. Okay, guys, I shut that part off. It's going to be on the other part. Okay, bye. And now, all right.